Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Palace here. So nice to see you. I'm very excited about the story we have for today. It's about communities. I love learning about different communities all around the world. And we have Pineville from Pine Mountain State Park. The community of Pineville, Kentucky, can be seen from Pine Mountain State Park in the eastern Kentucky mountains. This small city is located on the Cumberland River, the 16th longest river in the United States. Now, Kentucky, my students will know, you can find Kentucky on our giant map that's in the classroom. All right, communities are places. When we see land as a community to which we belong, we may begin to use it with love and respect. Aldo Leopold. So that looks like a really nice community, doesn't it? Pineville, Kentucky. I'll go there one day. Where on earth is your community? Communities are different in many ways. One is their location, or the place where they are found. Communities may be near rocky mountains or on flat plains. They may be next to flowing water or on dry desert land. Water and land. If someone asks you to describe where your community is located, how would you do it? You might start by saying what body of water or kind of land it is near. Town Lake in Austin, Texas, and the city skyline. Fast fact, Austin was first named Waterloo because it had many springs and creeks. The city was renamed in 1839 to honor Stephen F. Austin, an important leader in Texas. Now, again, we got two states we can find on our map. We got Kentucky and now Texas. Located the Himalayan mountains in Asia. Wow, those are beautiful. The Himalayan mountain range includes the highest mountains in the world. Your community may be near a river, a body of water that flows across the land. It may be near a lake, a body of water with land all around it. It may be near an ocean, a huge body of water that covers a large part of the planet. Earth's four oceans are the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic Oceans. Your community may be located on highland or lowlands. It may be near a mountain range, a large group of mountains. Mountains are the highest kind of land. They raise high above the land around them. Plains are the largest kind of lowland. They are flat or almost flat. The largest land areas on Earth are called continents. The 7 continents are Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. Here we go. Kenya in Africa. Plains in Africa can stretch for miles. That's what Kenya looks like. Beautiful. And I believe it's close to Madagascar, for those of us who've seen that movie. Okay. These students are using a globe to find the location of their community. On a globe. To show someone which continent you live on, you might use a globe. A globe is a model of planet Earth. Because it is round like the Earth, a globe shows the true shapes of the oceans and continents. A globe can be divided in half to describe locations on it. Another way of saying half of the globe is to use the word hemisphere. Hemi means half, sphere means ball, the shape of the globe. One way to divide the globe in half is to cut it along the equator. The equator is an imaginary line that is halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. If you cut the globe this way, you get a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere. Here we go. Dividing the world into northern and southern hemispheres. So you see the equator goes right around the middle of the Earth. And that's the hottest points. So we have the North Pole and the South Pole. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Another way to divide the globe into 2 hemispheres is to cut it in half from the North Pole to the South Pole, through the middle of the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. If you do this, you get a Western Hemisphere and an Eastern Hemisphere. Every place on Earth is in at least 2 hemispheres. North America, for example, is the Northern Hemisphere. and also in the Western Hemisphere. Huh. Matthew Henson. Character trait, cooperation. On April 6, 1909, Matthew Henson and Robert Peary became the first two explorers to reach the North Pole. Henson's friendly contact with the Inuit, the native people of the Arctic, had helped them reach their goal. Wow, amazing. Here we go. World maps. Love maps. That's the world, guys. And that is the 7 continents. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. Okay. On a map. A globe is a better model of the Earth than a map, but a map is easier to carry. A map is a picture that shows the location of things. A map can show the whole world, the planet Earth, and all the places on it, or just a small part of it. Because a map of the world is flat, not round like a globe, it cannot show the true shapes of the oceans and continents. On the map of North America, you can see that the continent is made up of both large and small nations. A nation, or country, is an area of land with its own people and laws. There we go, we got North America. So we're in the United States. We know Mexico is south of us, and Canada is north of us. Now, if you look, boys and girls, you see Alaska? That is actually part of the United States, even though it's past Canada. See Greenland? The border of a nation or state shows its shape. A border is a line on a map that shows where a state or nation ends. The map above shows state borders in the United States. It also shows some national borders. Okay. Got another map here. Oh, look at this one. Eagle, Colorado. So let's look at the map key. We see the bridge, the highway, the railroad, the city hall, the library, the school, the courthouse, the park, and the sheriff's office. And here we go. We got the community right here. See the elementary school, the middle school, Central Park, the city park, the town park. Amazing. Okay. Communities are different sizes. While each community is different, many share the same name. Several communities in the United States are named Eagle. More than 20 communities have chosen the name Washington to honor George Washington. George Washington was our country's first president or leader of the United States. Some communities named for George Washington are large, some are small, and some are medium. The skyline of Washington, D.C. All right, we can also find Washington, D.C. on our map. And here's the map, boys and girls. We have the same map in our classroom. Oh, so glorious. I love it. And in this map, it shows all the states. And it also points out how many states have the city Washington in it. So you can see like there's a Washington in Wisconsin. There's one in Utah. One in Iowa. What other states have Washington, boys and girls? Yep. Okay. Cities. A city is a large kind of community. Because it has a large population or number of people, a city needs more schools and businesses than a smaller community does. Cities cover large areas of land. Washington, D.C. is a very large city in the eastern part of the United States. It is an important city because it is a capital city of the United States. A capital city is a city in which government leaders meet and work. The leaders of our country's government, including the president, meet and work in Washington, D.C. There's George Washington. George Washington was our country's first president. You see him on the dollar bill, right? And on the quarter. Oh, here we go. Alexandria, Virginia is a suburb of Washington, D.C. Virginia, another state, boys and girls, you can find on our map. Suburbs and rural towns. Many large cities have smaller communities all around them. A small community that is close to a city is called a suburb. Say suburb, boys and girls. Good. Suburbs have their own schools and their own businesses. Many people who live in suburbs work in the nearby city, but some have jobs in the suburbs. All right. Washington's metro. In the 1950s and 1960s, the people of Washington, D.C. began to discuss the need for a good public transportation system. Transportation is the moving of people or things from one place to another. People who live in the suburbs of Virginia and Maryland need a better way to get to their jobs in the capital city. Leaders in Washington, D.C. and nearby cities and counties formed the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, WMATA. That's called an acronym, boys and girls, where each letter represents a word. Its purpose was to build and run a subway and bus system. Today, this system is known as the Metro. Every day, thousands of people use the Metro to get from place to place. Farther from the cities and rural areas are small towns and even smaller villages. A rural area is the countryside, away from cities and larger towns. Small towns and villages have their own schools, their own businesses, and their own governments. Some people in small towns and villages work there, selling goods or providing services to the neighbors. Others work on the land nearby. They may cut trees for wood or raise plants or animals for food. This photograph shows a rural area in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, and that is beautiful. All right, we will stop here for today. I hope you liked learning about the communities. I know I did. And I'm going to see you soon, boys and girls.